Vote yes.
Edgefield will now be called Coconut Creek.
The vote is unanimous. Coconut Creek is officially a city.
Coconut Creek claims city status.
Coconut Creek celebrates first decade.
Coconut Creek Charter accepted.
Ethel Rowe, a firm believer of recreation.
Selects Joseph W. Coconut as city manager.
Sandy Hart is the first policewoman in Broward County.
Coconut Creek opens brand new government center. Celebrate the 20th anniversary in Trade Wind South.
The city celebrates its 30th anniversary. The city appoints John Kelly as city manager.
City website is open for business.
Groundbreaking for a new casino in Coconut Creek. Coconut Creek is the butterfly capital of the world.
The city prepares for its 40th anniversary. Creek steps up Main Street project.
First city in Florida to be a community wildlife.
Imagine a day when northern Broward County was mostly farmland and Florida wilderness, with tomatoes, oranges, horses, and cows galore. Early settlers of Coconut Creek were mostly farmers.
My brothers and I have the distinction of living in Coconut Creek since 1949. It's the first family that was in this area, because at that time everybody lived in town and worked on the farm. But there was an old farmhouse here, so my dad, being a Michigan farmer, moved us into the farm.
90% of the people are farmers. That's all was down here for them to do. Either you raise beef cattle or farm the vegetables, the plants, the tomatoes, the pepper, the eggplant.
In the mid-50s, Pompano Beach real estate developer R.E. Bateman had a dream to build a community development. He purchased several hundred acres west of the turnpike and named it Edgefield. Wanting a more tropical moniker, Bateman changed the name to Coconut Creek, borrowing from the Dade County communities of Coconut Grove and Indian Creek.
Well, Mr. Bateman was a very good promoter. He was a very quiet man, one of the most dignified men I've ever met. But he built Lighthouse Point before he built Coconut Creek. And so when he built Lighthouse Point in the 50s, he had the women from the water skiers from Cypress Gardens come down, and that was a spectacle on a Sunday afternoon. He did the same thing in Coconut Creek.
Builder Jack Brown joined Bateman in the 60s to become the principal builders of the early Coconut Creek homes in the area today called South Creek.
In the 60s, the Coconut Creek, all was here was South Creek. North Creek, they've had pepper planted over there on that land. And on both sides of Lyons Road was farmland.
By 1965, the neighborhood grew to nearly 200 occupied homes. Further development beyond the core neighborhood was underway. Coconut Creek was now a hot spot. By 1963, both Margate and Pompano Beach expressed interest in annexing the Coconut Creek homes. But Coconut Creek residents protested and petitioned the legislature to be left as they were. In 1966, a committee formed by Homeowners Association President John Reed recommended incorporation of a new city.
And the Homeowners Association, in concert, we just didn't want to be part of Pompano Beach. We thought there was too many problems with the beach costs and so on. And being independent young people, we just decided that we would vote to become a city.
And the choice was taken to the neighborhood residents for a final vote. It was a victory. 236 out of 260 eligible voters turned out and approved incorporation, 163 to 73.
They incorporated the thing and asked the people that live here in South Creek to help them out. So they asked us all to buy a bond, a $1,000 bond, and for 2 years, and they will give us 10% interest on the $1,000 bond. Well, everybody bought a bond. That's how the city got its money to start off with.
The new city operated under the Florida state statutes until a city charter was drawn up and adopted. During that time, the new council and administration began working from their homes and held official public meetings at Calvary Presbyterian Church. Later, a trailer was used as their city hall, located on Northwest 45th Avenue, just south of Coconut Creek Parkway.
Well, the first city hall was actually a building that was a spec home that was built for development to show people to buy homes in Coconut Creek. And it was taken over and donated by the developer, and we used this house as the city hall. It was open half a day from 9 to noon, and our first clerk, Donaldson, was the only employee we had, and she was there just for the few hours, 5 days a week.
Residents also elected their first officials. The enthusiasm and spirit of the young community was epitomized by the planning and building of the first Coconut Creek Community Center in 1972 by South Creek residents, including Jack and Ethel Rowe, early community leaders. During the 70s, the city's first schools, Coconut Creek Elementary and Coconut Creek High School, opened. Further development was underway. 115 acres of land was obtained to build a North Broward Junior College campus, today known as Broward Community College North Campus, and the police and fire departments were created. The Coconut Creek Women's Club launched and began the traditions of awarding educational scholarships and hosting a holiday craft fair, which continues today. Throughout this period, the city experienced rapid growth, particularly with the development of the Wynmoor, originally named Rossmoor, and the township communities.
The combination of Wynmoor and the township, which is a sizable residential mixed-use development, is really by default, and that is that the people that made the investment in both communities realized there was a gap of green between the build-up areas to the east and what was the area that was building up to the west of the township, Carl Springs.
I started here in October of 1976 as a firefighter. And at that time, the fire department had 2 paid firefighters working Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. because the volunteer department didn't have any personnel in the city working, so they had no fire response, so they hired paid firefighters to cover the weekday business hours.
In 1982, the Coconut Creek Public Safety Department was established, and the phase-out of the volunteer firefighters commenced. A year later, the first major shopping area, the Coconut Creek Plaza, was completed.
Economic development did not come early to the city of Coconut Creek because it was a bedroom community. Coconut Creek in the 80s was a renaissance period. It's when we expanded all the way from Sample Road, which was our original northern boundary, in increments all the way up to the Hillsborough Canal in most portions. And not only did we have that annexation, but we also pursued the water and sewer rights, which is the foundation which allowed for all that development to take place.
Having outgrown the first city hall, land was acquired at the southwest corner of Lyons and Copans Roads for the location of a new city hall. And on December 18, 1986, the current government center was dedicated. In 1988, Coconut Creek was designated as Tree City, USA, and Butterfly World at Tradewinds Park opened. As the 80s came to a close, Coconut Creek was among Florida's fastest growing cities with a population approaching 30,000. Residential development continued throughout the 1990s, primarily north of Sample Road, and welcome commercial development was on the rise. The city was developing one of the best park systems in the county, with the dedication of the Winston Park Nature Center and the openings of the George S. Gerber Memorial Park, Windmill Park, and Lakeside Park.
The history of the park system in Coconut Creek, I basically started, I think, the day I walked in the door, actually. I was a one-man Parks and Recreation department. Donaldson Park was our only park facility, and we were using land at Coconut Creek Elementary for some sports activities. But I feel fortunate that really I had an opportunity to participate in the development of all of the city's parks.
Transportation was also made easier during this period, with the commencement of the city's free bus shuttle service. Always a proponent of environmentally appealing parks and amenities, the recreation complex opened with big fanfare in 1994, the same year that the North Broward Regional Library at Broward Community College opened. In 2001, our flagship park, Sable Pines Park, with its 54.5 acres donated by developers and with funding provided by the Florida Communities Trust, opened with athletic fields, courts, picnic shelters, and playgrounds. Let the games begin. That was the sentiment in 2000 with the grand opening of Seminole Casino Coconut Creek, and 2002 was a banner year. The city was proclaimed as the butterfly capital of the world to celebrate the support of conservation and environmental awareness. As you can see while driving up and down local roads, the city welcomes lush landscaping and preservation of natural wildlife habitats. This position was recognized by the National Wildlife Federation, when in 2005, they named Coconut Creek as a community wildlife habitat, the first in Florida and 11th in the country. Today, residents laugh, sing, and enjoy annual activities that get the whole family out, such as the Butterfly Festival, Butterfly Run, Halloween Blast, Veterans Day Ceremony, and the Arbor Day Tree Giveaway. With a population of just under 50,000 in 2006, the City Commission approved the first project in what will be the city's most ambitious and exciting project ever.
Coconut Creek's future is very bright. There's two main projects I can think of. The Main Street area, which is a new urbanism development area, which will be located between Wiles Road, Sample Road, 441, and Lyons Road. It'll be an area where people can live, work, and play. The other project I want to talk about is the Coconut Creek Educational Corridor. It is on Coconut Creek Parkway. It'll include BCC, Coconut Creek High School, ABC Trade School, Dave Thomas Learning Center, and the Atlantic Technical Center. The nice thing about this corridor is that the students will be able to bus back and forth. They may ride their bicycles. They may even rollerblade or walk. The corridor will have large wide sidewalks to encourage the pedestrian traffic. It's been a great 40 years for Coconut Creek. We've become more environmentally friendly, more diverse, and we're the butterfly capital of the world. And I'm looking forward to the next 40 years. On behalf of the City Commission, I would like to wish the residents of Coconut Creek a very happy 40th anniversary.